Edwin Morris, Alfred, Lord Tennyson. Oh me, my pleasant rambles by the lake, my sweet, wild, fresh 3/4 of a year, my one oasis in the dust and drought of city life. I was a sketcher then, see here, my doing, curves of mountain, bridge, boat, island, ruins of a castle, built when men knew how to build, upon a rock, with turrets like and gilded like a rock, and here, newcomers in an ancient hold, newcomers from the Mersey, millionaires, here lived the hills, a Tudor-chimneyed bulk of mellow brickwork on an isle of bowers. Oh me, my pleasant rambles by the lake with Edwin Morris and with Edward Bull the curate. He was fatter than his cure. But Edwin Morris, he that knew the names, long-learned names of agaric, moss and fern, who forged 1,000 theories of the rocks, who taught me how to skate, to row, to swim, who read me rhymes elaborately good, his own I called him Crichton, for he seemed perfect, finished to the fingernail. And once I asked him of his early life, and his first passion. And he answered me. And well his words became him, was he not a full-souled honeycomb of eloquence stored from all flowers? Poet-like he spoke. My love for nature is as old as I. But 30 moons, 1 honeymoon to that, and 3 rich nights more, my love for her. My love for nature and my love for her, of different ages, like twin sisters grew, twin sisters differently beautiful. To some full music rose and sank the sun, and some full music seemed to move and change with all the varied changes of the dark, and either twilight and the day between. For daily hope fulfilled to rise again revolving toward fulfillment, made it sweet to walk, to sit, to sleep, to wake, to breathe. Or this or something like to this he spoke. Then said the fat-faced curate Edward Bull, I take it, God made the woman for the man, and for the good and increase of the world, a pretty face as well, and this as well, to have a dame indoors, that trims us up, and keeps us tight. But these unreal ways seem but the theme of writers, and indeed worn threadbare. Man is made of solid stuff. I say, God made the woman for the man, and for the good and increase of the world. Parson, said I, you pitch the pipe too low, but I have sudden touches, and can run my faith beyond my practice into haze, though if, in dancing after Letty Hill, I do not hear the bells upon my cap, I scarce hear other music, yet say on. What should one give to light on such a dream? I asked him half sardonically. Give? Give all thou art, he answered, and a light of laughter dimpled in his swarthy cheek. I would have hid her needle in my heart, to save her little finger from a scratch no deeper than the skin. My ears could hear her lightest breaths, her least remark was worth the experience of the wise. I went and came. Her voice fled always through the summer land. I spoke her name alone. Thrice happy days. The flower of each, those moments when we met, the crown of all, we met to part no more. Were not his words delicious, I obese to take them as I did. But something jarred whether he spoke too largely, that there seemed a touch of something false, some self-conceit, or over-smoothness, howsoever it was, he scarcely hid my humor, and I said, Friend Edwin, do not think yourself alone of all men happy. Shall not love to me, as in the Latin song I learnt at school, sneeze at a full God bless you right and left? But you can talk, yours is a kindly vein, I have I think heaven knows as much within. Have or should have, but for a thought or two, that like a purple beech among the greens looks out of place, 'tis from no want in her, it is my shyness, or my self-distrust, or something of a wayward modern mind dissecting passion. Time will set me right. So spoke I knowing not the things that were. Then said the fat-faced curate, Edward Bull, God made the woman for the use of man, and for the good and increase of the world. And I and Edwin laughed And now we paused about the windings of the marge to hear the soft wind blowing over meadowy holms and alders, garden aisles. And now we left the clerk behind us, I and he, and ran by ripply shallows of the lisping lake, delighted with the freshness and the sound. But, when the bracken rusted on their crags, my suit had withered nipped to death by him that was a god, and is a lawyer's clerk, the renter Cupid of our rainy isles. 'Tis true, we met. 1 hour I had, no more, she sent a note, the seal and Alvu's suit, the closier Letty, only yours. And this thrice underscored. The friendly mist of morn clung to the lake. I boated over, ran my craft aground, and heard with beating heart the sweet gale rustle round the shelving keel. And out I stepped, and up I crept. She moved, like pro-serpent in Enna, gathering flowers, then low and sweet I whistled thrice. And she termed D, we closed, we kissed D, swore faith, I breathed in some new planet, a silent cousin stole upon us and departed. Leave, she cried, oh leave me. Never, dearest, never, here I braved the worst, and while we stood like fools embracing, all at once a score of pugs and poodles yelled D within, and out they came trustees and aunts and uncles. What, with him? Go, shrilled D the cotton-spinning chorus. Him. I choked. Again they shrieked D the burthen him. Again with hands of wild rejection go. Girl, get you in. She went, and in 1 month they wedded her to £60,000, to Lance in Kent and mess wages in York, and slight Sir Robert with his watery smile and educated whisker. But for me, they set an ancient creditor to work. It seems I broke it close with force and arms. There came a mystic token from the king to greet the sheriff, needless courtesy. I read, and fled by night, and flying turned D, her taper glimmered D in the lake below. I turned D once more, close buttoned D to the storm. So left the place, left Edwin, nor have seen him since, nor heard of her, nor cared to hear. Nor cared to hear? Perhaps. Yet long ago I have pardoned dear little Letty. Not indeed, it may be, for her own dear sake, but this, she seems a part of those fresh days to me. For in the dust and drouth of London life she moves among my visions of the lake, while the prime swallow dips his wing, or then while the gold lily blows, and overhead the light cloud smolders on the summer crag.